everyone, good day and welcome to our channel, Alena Media TV. We are broadcasting from Toronto, Canada. My name is Elsa Abraham. We have some good news, and the good news is Alena Media TV would like to announce to our lovely viewers that we are expanding our programs, so kindly take note of our weekly activities. On Monday, we'll report on COVID-19. Tuesdays are African history. Wednesday, world news. Thursdays are African news. Friday is world history. Saturday is editorials. Another good news is we are starting a satellite broadcast very soon. This satellite broadcast will begin on the 20th of June 2020, which will also be Eritrean Martyrs Memorial Day. Kindly take note of our frequency. Nile Sat Vertical 12728. Symbol rate 27500. FEC 5/6. We'll bring you more details after this short break. Kindly stay with us. In today's episode, we are going to talk about the history of Sudan. The history of Sudan includes that of both the territory that composes Republic of the Sudan, South Sudan, as well as that of a larger region known by the term Sudan. The term is derived from Arabic word Bilad as-Sudan, or in English, Land of the Black People, and can be used more loosely of West and Central Africa in general, especially the Sahel. The modern Republic of Sudan was formed in 1956 and inherited its boundaries from Anglo-Egyptian Sudan, established in 1899. For times predating 1899, usage of the term Sudan for the territory of the Republic of Sudan was somewhat anachronistic and may have referred to the more diffuse concept of the Sudan. The early history of the Kingdom of Kush, located along the Nile River in what is now northern Sudan, is intertwined with the history of ancient Egypt, with which it was politically allied over several ruling periods. By virtue of its proximity to Egypt, the Sudan participated in the wider history of the Near East, with the most popular episodes being the 25th dynasty and the Christianization of the three Nubian kingdoms, namely Nobatia, Makuria, and Alodia in the 6th century. As a result of Christianization, the Old Nubian language stands as the oldest recorded Nilo-Saharan language, earliest records dating to the 8th century in an adaptation of the Coptic alphabet. While Islam was already present in the Sudanese Red Sea coast and the adjacent territories since the 7th century, the Nile Valley did not undergo formal Islamization until the 14th to 15th century, following the decline of the Christian kingdoms. The kingdoms were succeeded by the Sultanate of Sena in the early 16th century, which controlled large parts of the Nile Valley and the Eastern Desert, while the kingdoms of Darfur controlled the western parts of Sudan. Two small kingdoms arose in the southern regions, the Shiloh Kingdom of 1490 and Takale of 1750, near modern-day South Sudan, but both northern and southern regions were soon seized by Muhammad Ali of Egypt during the 1820s. Resentment towards the oppressive rule of Muhammad Ali and his immediate successors is credited for stirring up resentment towards the Turco-Egyptian rulers that contributed to the Sudanese struggle for the independence led by Muhammad Ahmad in 1881. Since its independence in 1956, the history of Sudan has been plagued by internal conflict. The First Sudanese Civil War, starting from 1955 to 1972, The Second Sudanese Civil War, starting from 1983 to 2005, culminating in the secession of South Sudan on 9th July 2011, and the war in Darfur starting from 2003 to 2010. Now moving to the recent history starting from 2006 to 2000 to the present day. On 31st August 2006, the United Nations Security Council approved resolution from 1706 to send a new peacekeeping force of 17,300 soldiers to Darfur. In the following month, however, UNMIS was not able to deploy to Darfur due to the government of the Sudan's steadfast opposition to a peacekeeping operation undertaken solely by the United Nations. The United Nations then embarked on an alternative, innovative approach to try to begin to stabilize the region through the phased strengthening of AMIS before transfer of authority to a joint African Union or United Nations peacekeeping operation. Following prolonged and intensive negotiations with the government of the Sudan and significant international pressure, the government of the Sudan finally accepted the peacekeeping operation in Darfur. In 2009, the International Criminal Court issued an arrest warrant for al-Bashir, accusing him of crimes against humanity and war crimes. In 2009 and 2010, a series of conflicts between rival nomadic tribes in South Kordofan caused a large number of casualties and displaced thousands of people. South Sudanese independence referendum in 2011. An agreement for the restoration of harmony between Chad and Sudan, signed to January 15, 2010, marked the end of a 5-year war between them. The Sudanese government and the JEM signed a ceasefire agreement ending the Darfur conflict in February 2010. In January 2011, the referendum on independence for Southern Sudan was held, and the South voted overwhelmingly to succeed later that year as the Republic of South Sudan, with its capital at Juba and Kir Mayadith as its first president. Al-Bashir announced that he accepted the result, but violence soon erupted in the disputed region of Abyei, claimed by both the North and the South. On June 6, 2011, armed conflict broke out in South Kordofan between the forces of Northern and Southern Sudan ahead of the scheduled independence of the South on July 9th. This followed an agreement for both sides to withdraw from Abyei. On June 20 of the parties agreed to demilitarize the contested area of Abyei, where Ethiopian peacekeepers will be deployed. On July 9th, 2011, South Sudan became an independent country. This is where we end today's episode for World African History. Please like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Let us know your thoughts on this particular episode. Thanks for watching.